Most people do the same few stretches over and over again, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it can make your mobility work feel stale and leave you with lingering tightness that never seems to go away. So today I'm going to share 5 stretches that you've probably never heard of. They aren't gimmicky tricks either. These are time-tested movements with scientific support that I personally do every week, and I think you should too. We'll start with a few that are a bit more common, and then as we go, they'll get more and more obscure. So I'd say most of you probably have done stretch 1 at some point, but I'd bet less than 1% of you have ever even seen stretch 5. I think they're all worth doing. Just remember that stretching consistently matters more than the exact stretches you pick. Okay, the first stretch is a simple way to improve your hip mobility. Open up your hip flexors, strengthen your quads in a stretch position, and eliminate knee pain. It's the couch stretch. And if you've never tested how tight your hip flexors actually are, try this stretch next time you're at home. I actually just had my wife test it after years of sitting at a desk for work, and her hip flexors were incredibly tight. She could barely get into position. We worked on it for just 2 weeks, and she went from barely holding it for 10 seconds to comfortably sitting in the stretch for a full minute. Her lower back pain disappeared completely. Now for some context, tight hip flexors are one of the most common problems people face after 40, especially if you sit for work. Your hip flexors are these muscles at the front of your hips that lift your knee up. When you sit all day, they stay shortened and tight. This pulls on your pelvis, which tilts it forward, which then creates that arch in your lower back that causes chronic pain. The scientific evidence on this is pretty clear. Tight hip flexors contribute to lower back pain, knee problems, and poor posture. And if your hips feel locked up from sitting all day, you'll get immediate relief from this stretch. First, find a couch or a bench where you can kneel down in front of it. Place your right knee on the couch seat with your shin going up the back of the couch. Your left foot should be flat on the ground in front of you in a lunge position. Now here's the key part. Squeeze your right glute hard. This is what actually stretches your hip flexor. Without that glute squeeze, you're just hanging out in a lunge. With it, you'll feel an intense stretch at the front of your right hip. Hold this for 30 to 60 seconds, breathing deeply and trying to relax into the stretch. Then switch sides, try it out, and see how tight your hip flexors really are. If you can't get your knee on the couch yet, start by doing a regular kneeling lunge on the ground with your back knee on a pad. Or you can use a lower surface like a coffee table. If you can hold this comfortably for 2 minutes per side with your torso completely upright, post a video and tag me. I'll take a look and repost some of you because that's seriously impressive hip mobility. Next stretch takes a standard hip stretch and makes it way more effective, at least in theory. I call it the 90-90 shin box, and it's become one of my absolute favorite stretches for hip rotation. Here's the idea. Most people stretch their hips by doing basic stretches that only work in one plane of motion. Maybe you do some forward leg swings or some side lunges. Those are fine, but they completely miss hip rotation, which is what most people desperately need. Your hips are ball and socket joints designed to rotate internally and externally. But when you sit all day, you lose that rotational capacity completely. Your hips get locked up, which then causes your knees to compensate, which leads to knee pain. It also makes your lower back compensate, which causes back pain. So by stretching your hips into rotation with the 90-90 shin box, you're addressing the root cause of a lot of pain and dysfunction. Here's what you do. Sit on the ground with both legs bent at 90 degrees. Your right leg should be in front of you with your knee pointing forward and your shin roughly perpendicular to your body. Your left leg should be behind and to the side with your knee pointing to your left and your shin roughly parallel to your body. Both knees bent at 90 degrees, hence the name. Keep your chest upright and your hands on the ground beside you for support. Now lean forward over your front leg, keeping your back straight. You should feel a deep stretch in your right hip, specifically in your external rotators. Hold this for 30 to 45 seconds. Then sit back up and lean your torso back toward your back leg. You'll feel a stretch in your left hip, specifically in your internal rotators. Hold for 30 to 45 seconds. Then lift both knees slightly off the ground and rotate your entire lower body to switch legs. Now your left leg is in front and your right leg is behind. Repeat the forward and backward leans on this side. For technique, the key is keeping your chest upright and your back neutral. Don't round your spine forward trying to force the stretch. Let your hips do the work. If this position is too difficult because your hips are really tight, sit on a yoga block or a folded towel to elevate your hips slightly. This makes it much easier to get into position. And while I don't think this stretch will suddenly make you able to do the splits, I do think it's one of the most effective ways to restore hip rotation. Now, if you prefer basic hip stretches like pigeon pose, they'll still work. Just make sure you're including some rotational work, because that's what most people are missing. Okay, so far we've only hit the couch stretch and the 90-90 shin box. The next 3 are definitely more obscure and way more comprehensive. Okay, this next stretch I've been doing every single week for the past year, and I absolutely love it for total body mobility. It takes multiple stretches and combines them into one sequence. It's called the bretzel. named after the pretzel shape your body makes. Now, I've covered tight hips and tight backs before, but here's the thing. Most stretches only address one area at a time. You stretch your hip, then you stretch your back, then you stretch your shoulder. That's fine, but it's inefficient. The bretzel combines hip flexor stretching, hip rotation, thoracic spine rotation, and shoulder mobility all into one position. That's why physical therapists and mobility coaches absolutely love this stretch. You're getting 4 or 5 stretches done in the time it takes to do one. And because everything is connected in your body, stretching multiple areas simultaneously often works better than isolating each area. So that's where the bretzel comes in. Lie on your right side with your bottom leg straight and your top knee bent at 90 degrees pulled toward your chest. Your left knee should be on the ground in front of you. Now reach your left hand back and grab your right foot or ankle behind you. Pull your right foot toward your butt, stretching your right hip flexor. At the same time, use your right hand to gently press your left knee down toward the ground. This stretches your left hip into rotation. Once you've got both of those positions locked in, here's where it gets really good. Rotate your torso to the right, opening your chest up toward the ceiling. Try to get your right shoulder blade flat on the ground behind you. You should feel a massive stretch through your entire left hip, your right hip flexor, and your thoracic spine all at once. This is an all-in-one mobility reset. Hold this position for 45 to 60 seconds, breathing deeply and trying to relax into all the different stretches happening at once. Then switch to the other side. For technique, think about pressing your top knee down with one hand while pulling your bottom foot toward your butt with the other hand, and then rotating your chest open. All 3 things happening simultaneously. And by rotating your chest open at the end, you're hitting your thoracic spine, which is critical for shoulder health and posture. This stretch looks complicated when you first see it, but once you get into position, it feels incredible. So give it a shot the next time you need a full body mobility session. I think you'll love how efficient and comprehensive it feels. You're hitting everything that gets tight from sitting and desk work in one single stretch. Okay, now we're getting a little bit more obscure, so I don't think I've seen many people do this one outside of yoga classes and physical therapy clinics. It's the puppy pose, and it's absolutely amazing for shoulder mobility and thoracic spine extension. First, I should explain why it is that I like it so much. It's really because this is one of the only stretches that gets your shoulders into deep flexion while your spine is extended. Most shoulder stretches don't create that combination. When you sit at a desk all day, your shoulders round forward and your upper back rounds with them. This creates a hunched posture that makes it hard to reach overhead without pain. Your shoulders lose their ability to flex fully, and your thoracic spine loses its ability to extend. The puppy pose addresses both of these problems at the same time. You're forcing your shoulders into deep overhead flexion while your spine extends, which is exactly the opposite position of sitting hunched at a desk. The technique is pretty simple. Start on your hands and knees in a tabletop position. Now walk your hands forward as far as you can while keeping your hips directly over your knees. Lower your chest down toward the ground, letting your forehead rest on the floor if possible. Your arms should be stretched out in front of you, completely straight. You should feel an intense stretch in your shoulders, armpits, and upper back. The key is letting your chest sink down toward the ground while keeping your hips high. Don't let your hips drift back toward your heels. That turns it into child's pose, which is a completely different stretch. With puppy pose, your hips stay over your knees and your chest drops down between your arms. Hold this for 60 to 90 seconds, breathing deeply and trying to let your chest sink lower with each exhale. A cue I use is to imagine someone is pulling your hands forward while someone else is pulling your hips back. This creates length through your entire spine and maximizes the shoulder stretch. Now, if you don't have the mobility to get your forehead to the ground, you can place a yoga block or a folded towel under your forehead for support. As your mobility improves over weeks, you'll gradually be able to lower down farther. It's not that I think this deep shoulder flexion stretch is going to suddenly fix all your shoulder problems, but I do think that if you're completely missing overhead mobility work and thoracic extension, you probably are leaving some serious improvements on the table. So try these out, let me know what you think. Your shoulders will feel more mobile and your posture will improve dramatically. Now, before I show you the final 2 stretches, let me address something important. If you're dealing with chronic aches and pains, stiff joints, or you feel like your body just doesn't move the way it used to, you're not alone. Most people think they're stuck with these problems forever. But what if there was a simple, step-by-step system that could help you move pain-free again? I created Reboot Your Body specifically for people over 40 struggling with these exact issues. It's a 30-day program designed to restore the movement and strength you've lost, so you can play with your kids or grandkids, get through your day without constant aching, and feel confident in your body again. Imagine waking up without that stiff back, reaching overhead without shoulder pain, and moving through life the way you're supposed to. The link is in the description below if you want to check it out. All right, let's go even deeper. The next stretch on here does get a little wild, but like I said, I do all 5 of them, and I think they're all super underrated. Okay, the next one is a pretty uncommon hamstring and hip mobility stretch that I've been doing every week, and it's absolutely brutal in the best way possible. It's called the elephant walk. It is a classic in athletic training, and it was actually a staple warm-up for track and field athletes back in the day. They'll hit your hamstrings the hardest since you're keeping your legs completely straight, but your hip flexors and calves also get stretched dynamically as you move. Actually, the first time I did these properly, my hamstrings were so tight I could barely make it 10 steps without cramping up. I was sore for 3 days after, so don't say I didn't warn you. On top of that, your core has to work to keep you stable, and your hip mobility gets challenged with every step. It just works your entire lower body flexibility in a functional way. For the technique, stand with your feet together and bend forward at your hips, keeping your legs completely straight. Place your hands flat on the ground in front of you. If you can't reach the ground with straight legs, bend your knees just enough to get your hands down. Now walk forward with your hands while keeping your feet planted. Walk your hands out until you're in a plank position with your body in a straight line. Then walk your feet forward toward your hands while keeping your legs as straight as possible. Your hips will pike up toward the ceiling as your feet get closer to your hands. Once your feet are as close to your hands as you can get them, walk your hands forward again. Keep repeating this cycle, walking your hands out and then walking your feet up, over, and over. Do this for 20 to 30 feet or for 30 to 45 seconds. The key is keeping your legs as straight as possible throughout. Every time you walk your feet forward, you're stretching your hamstrings intensely. Every time you walk your hands forward, you're getting shoulder and core activation. Now, fair warning, this one is a lot harder than it looks, especially if you have tight hamstrings. So if you're new to it, I'd start with bent knees. Just bend your knees enough to make the movement possible, and over time, work towards straightening them more and more. Once you can do 30 seconds with completely straight legs, you've got legitimately impressive hamstring flexibility. I've been doing these more than static hamstring stretches lately because with static stretching, you just sit there holding a position. That helps, but it doesn't teach your body to use that flexibility dynamically. The elephant walk forces you to move through your full range while controlling your body weight. That functional flexibility is what actually transfers to real-life movements. A traditional hamstring stretch is good, but your legs, hips, and core still have to coordinate together. The elephant walk combines flexibility with strength and coordination all at once. But honestly, when it comes to mobility, the most important thing is consistency. You need to stretch regularly, not just once in a while when you feel tight. Doing these stretches 3 to 4 times per week will create dramatic improvements in how your body moves and feels. If you're just starting out, don't try to do all 5 perfectly on day 1. Pick 1 or 2 that address your biggest problem areas. If you have lower back pain, start with the couch stretch. If you have shoulder issues, start with the puppy pose. If your hips feel locked up, start with the 90-90 shin box. Master those first, then gradually add the others over a few weeks. If you do these consistently for 30 days, you'll move better than you have in years. Your back pain will decrease or disappear. Your shoulders will feel more mobile, your hips will feel looser and more capable. And you'll move through daily life with confidence instead of fear of tweaking something. So try them out for yourself and let me know which one you felt the most. Comment below if you're Team Couch Stretch, Team Bretzel, or Team Elephant Walk. And subscribe if you want more underrated mobility and movement content that actually works.